poem.
You want a poem? Right, sure, I'll give you a wee poem then, why not?
Yeah.
Right, so I had to go to Mass for Christmas, and this poem kind of explains why I don't really like Mass. So I hope you enjoy it. Asked to write a rhyme about church. I can't think of much worse. A Northern Irish Catholic upbringing sends me running when I hear the bells ringing. Now don't get me wrong, I used to sing that song. Believe deeply in that and the Tooth Fairy. Even wanted to be a priest, because then at least I could impart scripture with more rapture than the weekly sermon I was used to hearing, and no joke, I wrote to the Pope that it wasn't fair. I couldn't be an altar girl. Got every sacrament, even knew what they meant. Then, my friend's mum died. Aged 11, I couldn't hide my utter dismay that the world was this way. At confession, I deviated from the usual session. Asked Father what I could do to help my friend get through, and he said, "Pray for her." Sent me into a whirl. I found it too hard to trust in God, to hear my sobbing. Why was he a he? I started to see the church hated me unless I made tea. Another bless me Father for I did sin. I confessed my scepticism, and he said, "This century is one of great evil depravity." But hadn't every century been bad? And I knew that I had much more than my ancestors could dream. So he said it would seem, "The devil is in you." But that seemed like an excuse to set me loose from the confessional box. He didn't take stock of my teenage questions, didn't deliver real lessons. He had better things to do, like letting the headmistress steal from school. So the bubble burst. It was the worst. The loss of belief, when that is your chief form of relief. Mom took it hard, but I wasn't a card. Refused to go to Mass, except at Christmas. Still taught at a Sunday school. Told kids it was cool to help your neighbour. Didn't just have to do God a favour. Helped at a religious group for the disabled, because everything in Oma is labelled with the sign of the cross. Can't help a cause without Jesus somewhere in the sauce. Almost had a panic attack at a school service. I thought, what have I done to deserve this? Sitting in this church that my ancestors worked to pay for, despite the wolves at the door, and still they wanted more. Like my uncle sent to seminary, age 14, or the missionary, only way to glean food for his hand. Church in England owned the land. How this church, this steeple, broke the backs of my people.
Woohoo! Poets all put up their hands. So this is my dyslexia poem. Digging in the attic for my old school books. Having nostalgic looks at my creative writing. Not overly exciting, but I could spell one word 4 ways on the same page at that age. And my logic was, for I remember the cause, one must be right, but forever in sight. The red pen mark, always stark on the white of the page, provoking my rage. My parents noticed I wasn't very focused. Clever and bright, but my writing not right. To wait on the list would have been taking the piss, so they paid for the test. I wasn't as bad as all the rest. The kids from the estate were parenting weren't great. Their dads never read to them, in fact they rarely came. So the test said, not bad in the head. Chat, brilliant. Writing, hesitant. So every week I would sneak to a classroom by myself and ask to melt the words, verbs into a series of sounds to the subsequent frowns of my special needs teacher. But I found it easy to reach her remedial lessons and counting my blessings that I didn't have to do mixed up sentences. But Mrs. Loughran found out, said without a doubt it was much too easy, and managed to squeeze me back to normal class where I would always pass, and she would ask that I'd recite my poetry to all and sundry, sent to every classroom to expressively boom my personal rhyme during class time. Got my A in 11 plus. It simply was a must, unless you wanted to rust in a dead-end school treated like a tool. At the all-girls grammar, I always had a messy planner. When I got a C plus, it caused a fuss, but I showed them, downloaded the curriculum. By GCSEs, I was fine. A-levels were mine, top of the class, managed to surpass the expectations of educators that laughed at my letters and my inability to spell. encouraged by those who could tell my expression was unique despite my handwriting being oblique, and they would decrypt my chaotic script. But one made me cry, when constantly asking why I always failed the spelling test. My writing was always a mess. She thought me lazy, but I didn't let it faze me. I used to share what I'd write with others on a GeoCities site. Second year of uni, my tutor somewhat threw me, called me in, and it was clear to him I was dyslexic. I thought I was just hectic, but he made me take the test. Passed it like all the rest. Certified dyslexic. I was a bit skeptic, but I got 45 minutes extra and a bit of blue paper to say I was special. Didn't matter, my handwriting was mental. Free laptop, dictaphone, scanner, PDA, software, printer. Oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about. When I got my passport signed by my primary teacher, I asked why they hadn't known sooner. When I'd taken the test, why hadn't it said dyslexic? Yes, and she said the Education Authority didn't want the responsibility of educating me appropriately. As a result of this luck, the special needs teacher wasn't trained as such. But she remembered me, that I still write poetry. Well, if you want to know, you can hear me on a Radio 4 show. Mrs. Laughran, Mrs. Moohan, Mrs. Wilkinson, Miss McChrystal. Never said I was dyslexic, just talented and meant it. Yeah. It's that physical sensation of feelings unmentionable that balls in your tummy, knocks, makes you feel funny. Words can't describe the feeling inside, the tightness of breath, come completely bereft of the ability to speak about that which you seek to somehow leak into the world, till the stone is stirred, till I'm not so burned by the fire pit, the feeling I'm not legit, that I can't commit to admitting it. Say it once or twice, hope it will suffice, that the trickle down will eventually be found to remove the need to communicate that I must feed on a wet, juicy, hairy pussy. That I want to grind as my way to unwind on a clint of choice. Hear a high-pitched voice, and my friends wonder how I kept it under wraps for so long, held as a hit from a ball. I know they won't judge me or hold a grudge against me. They say it's okay, don't mind me being gay. But it's easy to be fine about another's timeline. But when it's yourself, deeper it's felt. And to vocalise means to realise, but to realise you need to vocalise. What in the pussy is a curse? What comes first? Deed or declaration, admission or pussy penetration? So now I know I like it. Why do I still hide it? Because it's not getting me any action, it just get male attraction. So should I cut my hair? Have piercings here and there, only wear trousers and not them with flowers. Till wherever I go, the whole world will know I'm a bona fide woman lover, a bare-breasted hugger. I can say it in London. Here, gays get funding. But where I'm from, it's an abomination. Dreaded the day I told my mum. I won't be shunned, but I think she wants a grandson that will come from a male and female union.